Traders, this is CloudChartist on the 8th of March, Sunday night, with your weekly Ichimoku wrap-up video. I'm going to start off with CL, light sweet crude, on the weekly chart. We see that this week crude was able to close above the Tenkan-sen, long-legged, spinning top doji, but it did manage to close green and close above the Tenkan-sen, so as long as it holds that Tenkan-sen level at 48.91, should continue moving sideways. Overall, the chart is bearish. RSI is still very sold. We do have a large topping tail, so keep in mind this could be we could see more selling this week, but what I'm mostly interested in is the weekly close. See if we can continue to hold the Tenkan-sen. If we do continue to hold the Tenkan-sen, I see more sideways action. A change from last week is the Kijun-sen started pointing down a little bit rather than remaining flat. That means price action might be slightly less attracted towards it. But if we do get some buyers coming in, we could see the Tenkan-sen flatten out and then potentially maybe even point upwards. And if the Kijun-sen is pointing downwards, we could have a potential for a bull cross. Moving along, we have the ES. We had a very bearish day on last Friday and some selling last week, so we note that the Tenkan-sen has become flat, and this reversal was confirmed. So we see support at 2044 on the weekly time frame for the ES. I would be a buyer at that level for sure. Overall, the chart is fully bullish, and we have a rising cloud. Could just be a pullback to breakout pattern in effect. It's also possible that we just flag sideways and do not correct all the way back to 2044, but it's not that far away and would be healthy to see that level hit. If we do not hold 2044, then we could be in for a deeper correction down towards the flat Kijun-sen below. Notable is this dip in the cloud coming up into April, so we'll keep that in mind when we get closer to that. Next up, we have the dollar. Extremely bullish chart with a pennant flag type pattern, which bounced off the Tenkan-sen and put in a extremely bullish candle last week. So as you see, the RSI has been extremely overbought for many weeks now. So we'll see what happens with the dollar coming forward, but overall the chart is completely bullish, yet overbought. Next up, we have the Russell. Russell put in a potential trend change doji type spinning top doji candle last week, and then we did get some selling, but it's not a confirmation of a downtrend because we did have a higher high first. If we do get more selling, we could see a test of 1191.50, the Tenkan-sen. Contrary to the ES chart, this cloud is not as rising. It's more flat and descending into a cloud twist here, and then a flat cloud coming up ahead, but that's not for a while, till the end of March, early April. If we get selling below the 1191.50, we will have support at the top of the cloud. The overall chart is still fully bullish. Next up, we have the NASDAQ. Potential reversal candle last week. Similar to the TF, we put in a new high and then sold. Closed with a lower low, but not a lower high. We could pull back towards the Tenkan-sen at 42.62.38. I would be a buyer there. Overall, the chart is fully bullish. Next up, we have natural gas, NATI futures. After a very bearish candle the week before last, we caught a bounce, and price was attracted up towards the flat Tenkan-sen, but it hasn't gotten there yet. That's at 296, so I expect there's a potential for a test at that level this week coming up. If we do get above that flat Tenkan-sen at 296, we could be attracted towards the 355 flat Kijun-sen. There's also this gap that we need to fill. Next up we have silver. Silver, after testing the Kijun-sen and filling last week, we once again tested the Kijun-sen and filled, putting in a lower low and a lower high. Downtrend still in effect. We do have this bull cross above, but not really helping things out for silver. I expect it's possible that silver could go lower this week, but we will wait and see. Overall, the chart is bearish in all ways Ichimoku. Next up we have gold. Gold put in a test of the Kijun-sen here and filled. Very bearish candle, closing near the prior low closes. We could get more selling, see if buyers come in at this prior area of 1150 area-ish. Chart is bearish in Ichimoku terms, but the cloud looks flat ahead, so maybe sideways. Next up we have coffee. Potential reversal candle put in last week for coffee. After 3 bearish candles, we caught a bounce and put in a hammer candle. If we do get a higher high and a higher low, we could head towards the Tenkan-sen above at 156.85. Of note also is the Chikou lost the cloud support here. It was very thin and very vertical, so that's not surprising. We could actually reclaim the cloud, but that would mean pretty much getting back into this cloud here, or the Chikou could come back and test the cloud and act as resistance in a similar area to the Tenkan-sen. I'm looking for a potential bounce and then maybe move sideways. We do have rising cloud support here ahead. Next up, 30-year bonds. It's really impossible to chart this due to the contract change. This is the continuous contract, but I thought it was quite interesting that we had such a bearish candle that almost brought this impossible to chart back into play. So I'm just going to go with it even though it's not quite right, and hope that we could potentially test the Tenkan-sen here at 153.14. We can wait and see if this chart will actually work. Next up we have corn. Corn, after putting in a close over the Tenkan-sen here, got a reversal lower and closed below the Tenkan-sen. Could come back down and test the Kijun-sen at 367.63. Lower cloud support ahead. Bearish in all ways Ichimoku, except for the fact that we did get a close above the Kijun-sen, so there's a little bit of support in corn. Next up, some stock charts. I'm going to start with Apple. Apple put in, after making a new all-time high, Apple put in a reversal candle, and then a confirmed trend change to the downside with a lower high and a lower low. Tenkan-sen and Kijun-sen have gone flat below, so we could see a correction back towards the flat Tenkan-sen, and I would be a buyer at 119.12 on Apple. Overall, the chart is fully bullish. We're working off a little bit of our overbought at the moment. Next up we have Google. As I said in my mini video that I did on Google by itself, and as I've been saying intra-week as I have been trading Google myself, I expected that this breakout over the cloud would indeed fail and that we would get a close back inside the cloud, and that's indeed what happened. Uptrend is intact, but we could get a reversal inside the cloud back towards the Kijun-sen level. So be careful about getting too bullish on Google here. For the time being, some sideways action would be healthy. We have a very thin cloud ahead and then a cloud twist as well. That suggests a tightening range. This is a pretty wide range here. So this thin cloud suggests that we could get a smaller range in Google in coming times. And next up we have Priceline. It's sort of 1 week ahead of Google as far as what a breakout from a cloud and rejection could look like. This week, this candle looks similar to what Google did this week. Put in 2 topping tails here, tweezer tops, and then reversed. This candle is still inside the other candle, so the trend is still up. I expect price action to remain inside the cloud this coming week. The Chikou is also being rejected by the candles here, so we could even get price action to sell lower, maybe even test the bottom of the cloud. We do have a flat Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen confluence below, could attract price action lower, but I think that it's likely that the cloud will hold support. Just one more tonight, guys. We have CMG, the mighty burrito, not looking particularly mighty, putting in a potential head and shoulders pattern after losing the Kijun-sen support last week. The Chikou is also back under the candles here, so if we get some selling, we can imagine that the Chikou might test the Tenkan-sen below. Maybe we could test the 640 area ahead. If we go lower than 640, we could test the cloud. Overall, the chart is bullish though, and if we did get a test of the cloud, I'd be interested in potentially buying CMG for higher prices. We do have a rising cloud ahead also, so I mean, if we sold all the way back down to this area, 615-ish, I'd be definitely interested in buying it for a bounce. And that's going to be it for tonight. If you are interested in learning more about Ichimoku charts or the way that I trade them, you can check out more information about me and my chat room and some other free stuff at CloudChartist.com. Thanks for watching. Good luck trading this week. And if the markets are not agreeable, or you don't really feel like you have an edge, you don't have to trade. You can sit on your hands, or you can trade and keep it small. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching.